everybody, so in today's video we're taking a look at the 2019 Aston Martin DB11. Huge thank you to Foreign Cars Charlotte. They're providing this car for today's video. I'll have the link to their website in the description below. Huge selection of brand new Aston Martins, Bentleys, Maseratis, and Alfa Romeos, and a huge selection of used high-end exotic cars. So massive thank you to them for providing this for today's video. This car is finished off in a really nice color inside and out. Let's take a look. And the model that we're looking at today is a V8 coupe finished off in royal indigo. The interior leather is finished off in indigo blue and has an MSRP of $243,000. Underneath the hood of the DB11 features a 4-liter twin-turbocharged 8-cylinder engine. The engine is sourced from Mercedes and AMG. The twin turbos are actually mounted up in the top of the engine, which helps eliminate turbo lag and makes the engine much more compact. The vehicle features nearly 50-50 weight distribution with 49% up front and 51% in the rear. In the model that we're looking at today, packing the V8 engine, this pumps out 503 horsepower with 498 pound-feet of torque. The power is sent through a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, sending the power to the rear wheels through a limited slip rear differential. And with a curb weight around 3,900 pounds, you can expect to see 0 to 60 come in at 4 seconds, with a top speed of 187 miles an hour. This features 2-piece slotted and ventilated disc brakes in all 4 corners, with the front rotors measuring in at 15.7 inches. And then really quick on the tires, we get a name of S007 on them. These are Bridgestone tires. Very cool to see them incorporate just a little hint of James Bond into the Aston Martin. Of course, they have a huge deal with the franchise, so really nice to see Aston Martin putting in a little touch like that. The hood on the DB11 is actually the largest single aluminum piece on any vehicle. This is all one solid piece of aluminum, no seams or welds anywhere, one beautifully crafted piece, giving the front end an insane look. And when you close the hood, it actually features a soft close. All you gotta do is let the hinges lock, and the car will automatically bring it closed. The V8 weighs in about 230 pounds less than the V12 model, and with a 20.5 gallon fuel tank, you can expect the MPG to be 18 in the city and 24 on the highway. The overall length is 187 inches with a width of 76.7 inches. The overall height is 50.7 inches and the wheelbase is 110.4. The front end has the traditional Aston Martin look with the horizontal slots in the front grille. We get a large splitter down below with some black mesh up above it that directs air into the engine as well as into the side vents for added cooling to the engine and less pressure for the front wheel arches. The LED headlights have some nice designs in them with daytime running lights. We get a very three-dimensional look inside the headlights. And then coming up to the hood, we have nice sculpted lines from the top to the bottom, 2 heat extraction vents, while the V12 is going to have 4 vents. And overall, the front end of the DB11 definitely stands out very nicely. It looks like an Aston Martin should. It has a much more modern appearance to the previous generation DBs and looks extremely classy on the roads. The side profile is equally as classy as the front end. Very sleek lines coming along the whole sides. Not many interruptions with different body panels. The whole front end swoops nicely into the door panel. There's a nice line running from the headlight all the way down that wraps around the rear taillight. The two-tone silver and black roof looks great against the contrast with the indigo color. We have a blacked out side skirt to match the front splitter, a silver trim piece in the vent for the wheels. The yellow brake calipers look great against the two-tone wheels. And as we make our way towards the roof of the vehicle, we can see the aerodynamic features where the air actually gets sucked right into here. It goes into this area of the car, gets under the trunk, and comes right out of the spoiler portion right here, which fundamentally acts as if there's a wing without having an actual wing, just to keep this thing really clean looking. And as we make our way to the rear end of the vehicle, the rear fender arches bulge out really nicely, giving this a super wide appearance. Looking really good above the wheels. And then coming back up, we can see the nice designs from the body color, the black trim, and then the silver side pieces. The trunk lines are really sweet looking around the taillights. You can actually see the taillights wrapping around this body color portion. Really good look to it, more three-dimensional shapes on the inside of it. Then as we make our way down, we have some parking sensors, your dual exhaust system, some more black trim to match the front and the side skirts, and then finishing up the rear end, we got Aston Martin written out, your Aston Martin wing badge, and a very clean and sleek looking rear end. The exterior of the DB11 is absolutely fantastic. I cannot get over this paint color. It might not come off on camera as nice as it is in person. It looks like it is a base of like a really dark blue, but then you can see the purple in it and the blue flake. So it's a really, really nice looking color. The silver trim along the roof gives it a fantastic look. And then of course all the black contrast just give it a really sweet look to it. The car definitely has some amazing styling all around, from front all the way to the rear. Your typical Aston Martin is of course a sleek car, and I think these cars have a very timeless look to where even in 20 years from now, this thing is still going to be looking fantastic out on the road. So now with the key to the car, we'll go ahead and take a look at the interior. This is not the glass one, this is just the plastic one that you get for test drives and stuff like that. So opening the door, really nice, super sleek and flush door handles. You just push the front of it, the window automatically pops down a little bit. and just giving it a little bit of effort, the door comes right up. Gas-filled shocks keep the doors open nicely. You can see they open up at an angle. That's really good for clearing curves. The ground level would be right about here if they open normal, so you see you got a lot of distance there. Really cool looking with the doors open. They're not butterfly doors, but of course they're not your standard doors either, so definitely looking really cool. You can see how high that angle is from over here. Like I said in the beginning, the interior also has the indigo color on the leather. We have black leather running along the entire door panel from top to bottom. Get your nice storage compartment down here, perfect for some cell phones. In the center, we get that indigo color. It looks fantastic. It is really soft leather. It feels so nice to touch. We have a really cool stitch seam right here. They actually pinched the leather up to stitch it together like that, just giving it a really unique look. We get the bluish purple stitching along it. A nice aluminum piece right here, which is the actual handle you would grab to close the door. Your trunk release, your window and mirror controls. Piano black finish on it with your aluminum speaker cover and your aluminum door release lever. And then before we get to the interior, this is actually where you open up the hood. You hold that button and it'll pop right open. Now getting inside the car, this has black leather seating with the indigo color stitching along it. We have perforated in the center with a nice simple design. Integrated headrests up top with your release handle to fold the seat back to get to the rear seats. That'll actually put the seat down and then move it forward. And then real quick, we'll just take a look at the rear seating. It's pretty small back here, of course. You do have 2 seats in the back though for storage and people if you are in a pinch. We'll go ahead, put the seat back, it automatically goes back to the position. And before hopping inside, we'll go ahead and look at all the controls. This is how you move the seat forward, back, your recline, your memory seating, and all your lumbar support buttons. And now entering the DB11, we're greeted by a really nice black leather wrapped steering wheel. We get the Aston Martin logo on it and some polished aluminum trim. Really large aluminum paddle shifters on the left and right side. And then looking up, this has the full Alcantara headliner. It looks really, really clean inside the car. We'll go ahead and close the door. And with my foot on the brake, we'll start it up. Alright, that was my first time revving this car in sport mode. I was not expecting the cracks and pops. That is impressive. On the left side of the steering wheel, we have your Bluetooth settings, your hang up button, your answer on the right side, and then what I really like, you have your suspension logo on the top left, and you can see the icon. If I just click the button, we can go into your sport mode suspension, your sport plus mode, and then back into your GT mode. And then equally on the right side of the steering wheel, this S button right here does the same thing. We're in GT mode. The exhaust just got a little bit louder in sport mode, and then we're into sport plus mode. So really cool how easy it is to change between the suspension and the engine layouts. And then looking at the gauge configuration, we have your engine temperature and gas on the left side, as well as an exterior temperature, a large center tach with your speed and your gear, and then more screens on the right side. And then using these dials, we have the home, the back, and the scrolls and clicks. We can go through a whole bunch of different settings in here. We can go back to other things. We can scroll through many different things here. Very easy to use and super simple. There's really not too many buttons in here. You have all your headlight controls over on the left side. One of the air vents with some aluminum trim. The indigo leather running along the dash, which looks really, really cool. We have the large 8-inch display screen, and then coming down below, we have your different drive selections. We have your park, reverse, neutral, and drive. Foot on the brake will go into reverse. The cameras in this car are really, really good. It's easy to see out of. We have the 360 on the left side, the rear view on the right, and then using the rotary dial down here, which this is all Mercedes-Benz, so if you're familiar with that, you'll know how to use it. We can go between your different cameras, so that's looking at just the rear. We have your side cameras, front side cameras, your front, and then there is your front camera. We can see the F-Type coming its way. And then making our way down the center, we have all the climate controls. On the left side, we can control the driver's side. You can see the temperature going up there. Then we have My Zone. Scrolling that up and down, we go to the different zones, your fan speed, passenger zone, and then passenger temperature as well. So really simple to use the air conditioning. We have your heated and ventilated seats. It's illuminated by 3 LEDs on the right side of it. Very easy to use. And then we have more of the controls all throughout it. Your volume for the radio, you just swipe your finger to go left and right for the volume. Your parking sensors, your radio, all that kind of stuff. Your automatic engine shutoff, then your lock and unlock, and your hazards. You have a little bit of storage down there, and then the rotary dial as well as the touch dial. You can use the buttons here, it's all touchscreen. And then going up here, swiping my finger up, we have the menu, and I'm just swiping my finger over, just like that. And then of course you can use the dial. So whichever one you like, either the touchpad or the actual rotary, it's really nice to have that. And then for the center console, this is all automatic. Pull this button once, it opens it up to there, and then if we pull it another time, it opens up all the way. And then same thing when closing it. We do get 2 USB ports down here and a good amount of space. You can fit some phones and wallets and some other items. And then pressing right here, actually, this is actually your cup holders, which work pretty well. We'll go ahead and close that up, so that's how it would look with a cup right in here, and then close it up all the way. And then up top we have the frameless mirror, back to the Alcantara headliner. We'll take a quick look at the interior. I think the black and the indigo with all the piano black looks fantastic. Absolutely a stunning car to be in. I think the overall layout of it is really nice. Everything is really simple. There's not a million buttons, so it's really nice to use, really easy to use. And then to get out of the vehicle, just grab the handle and give it a little bit of a push, and it does the rest. And then the button right here, we'll go ahead and take a look at the trunk. So back here, we just grab right here, lift up the whole trunk lid. We got a pretty good amount of space in here. It does not go into the passenger compartments at all. We do have some ports up here that pop down and have a little bit of space, so you can actually fit a few extra things in here. We have tire changing items in here. So it is possible to use that as extra storage space, but we get a good amount of space in here. You could fit 2 or 3 smaller bags, but definitely a good amount of space. And then looking in, as we talked about the aerodynamics, how it goes from the front, it swirls its way into these vents. This is where it actually comes out of. You can see these vents right here, and they correspond to this piece right here. And that of course comes right out here. And around 65, 70 miles an hour, this whole piece actually raises up a few inches just to aid in the downforce. And now we'll take one last look at the interior. Really easy to use. The door handles, they come right up, and actually wherever you leave the door, that's where it's gonna go. It doesn't just have certain hinges. So if I open it right here, that's where the door is gonna stay. So really nice that Aston Martin features that. There's no set spot for the door to stop. But we'll go ahead and hop back inside real quick. We get the aluminum door sill, hand built in England. We see the dash with the different colors on it. Really good looking with the indigo and the black. All your passenger controls. Very nice in here. All the blue stitching, the perforated leather. Definitely an updated look. It looks very futuristic. It has a lot of new things to it compared to the previous DBs. So we are now in the DB11. First things first, this is a really, really cool car. I love the layout, and driving it now, seeing everything kind of in use as I'm driving it, it's so easy to use. The older like luxury high-end cars like this, there was just too much buttons and too much complicated stuff. This thing is just simple. So far I'm just in the standard suspension and GT mode for everything automatic. It's a comfortable GT car. Probably you guys can agree with me on this. Aston Martin is the benchmark for the GT car. This is the car you can just go on a long road trip just cruising in it, and then of course with the right settings you can still have a lot of fun on the back roads or on the track. So this car so far is really comfortable. The visibility is pretty easy to see out of. There's really not the biggest blind spot in the rear. Even though the swooping rear end is pretty aggressive, it obviously gives it a really sharp look. It doesn't really hinder visibility. You do have a little bit lower roof line, so the roof is slightly lower in front than I'm used to, so it's just a little bit different, but aside from that, it's really easy to see out of and really easy to drive just like your normal car. And then another thing that I really like is how simple it is to put it in your different drive modes. So on the left side, hitting the suspension button, we'll go ahead and just go to Sport Plus, and then on the right side, go into Sport mode, and then Sport Plus again. I can feel it already getting a little bit more aggressive. Yeah, this V8 just heard a backfire right there. This V8 sounds really good. It's the AMG engine, Aston Martin's exhaust system. And when you're in the Sport Plus mode, the valves must open and the tuning's a little bit different. And it just gives it that throaty, beefy sound that you want in some type of sports car like this. So as we come to some downshifts, we're in 5th gear, 2nd gear. You can hear some nice pops on that. Alright, so we are now on some twisties. Wow, that sounds good. So we're going over some nice sharp turns. The car is so planted. Powering out. car has some pickup, and again, that's like half throttle, but when you're driving it, you can just feel how it's got some driver engagement to it. It's a luxury GT car, but it's still a fun to drive sports car. The steering wheel, I'm just noticing, has really good notches for your thumbs in, so you can get a good grip on the steering wheel, and the paddle shifters are easy to get to. You're not hitting the stalks or anything on the left side. So do a small acceleration getting onto the highway from first gear. That's got some get up and go, and that's maybe like 60% throttle, really nothing crazy yet. It definitely gets you up onto the highway. Of course, it's got some power to it, and now we're just cruising. You can hear the exhaust just a little bit, and then if I tone it back down into GT mode, engine exhaust noise is completely gone now. We'll go into comfort suspension, and I mean, the car is back to being an Aston Martin, a GT car. You can just go cruising in it. So just got off the highway now. We're back into automatic, just cruising. One thing, making that right turn, there's no B-pillar here pretty much. The visibility over your left shoulder is fantastic. So if you are merging, it's a big bump. If you're merging on the highway or looking over that shoulder, that is phenomenal for a car like this. It is a hunkered down looking car, but on the inside, like I said earlier, it has really good visibility. And then last thing to talk about with the car, the materials. You're in an Aston Martin, of course. The leather is really soft and premium feeling. Everything that you touch and come in contact with is a nice material. And then the leather that your armrests are on is just comfortable and nice and elegant. The headliner being Alcantara just gives it that nice little touch. But overall, it's a car that you really can't complain about. So that about wraps up the test drive and review of the 2019 Aston Martin DB11. I really like it a lot. I like everything about it. It's a fantastic GT sports car. It's just a cool car to drive, and it's pretty awesome. Huge thank you once again to Foreign Car Charlotte for providing this car for today's video. They have a huge selection of brand new Aston Martins, Bentleys, Maseratis, and Alfa Romeos. They also have a huge selection of used high-end exotics, so definitely check them out. Well, anyway, guys, that wraps up today's video. Aston Martin DB11, what do you guys think of it? Hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did driving it. Be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, smash the subscribe button. We'll see you guys next video.